Good afternoon, and thanks again for tuning in to Wild Irish Bushcraft and Survival. I'm Chuck, your host. Guys, I've done a lot of reviews, alright, and I've done a lot of work with a lot of different blades. But, of different companies, M-Tech, Trade, Cold Steel, Kershaw, different, what have you. Now, I've done and worked with a lot of blades in the wild as well, But I'm going to tell you, and I might be a bit nostalgic, but one of the few ones I've ever worked with that I've really enjoyed, quite frankly, I don't even know the name of it, to be honest with you. And that's this little bad boy here. Now, when I first arrived here, and I was living in Boston, one of the local druggers came along, and he was come up to us while we were standing about on the tennis and all, and said, would anybody like to buy a knife? Apparently he needed a couple of bucks. Now, me being a man of adventure at the time, said, sure, let's take a gander at it. And then I says, what is it? He goes, it's a Vietnamese fighting knife. Now, honestly, I couldn't tell you whether he was right or not, because I'd never been to Vietnam, but I had no reason to doubt him. And by the way, if you, while you're watching this and see this and you know the actual origin of what it is, by all means tell me, because it's been this was back in the 80s when I bought this, so maybe you know what it is, I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. It has been with me since I moved here in 1980, and it has come with me through some of the biggest troubles I've ever been in the woods too. Now, I've modified it a wee bit. It was originally nothing more than this wooden handle, or wooden case here, on the blade itself. Now, the blade, I know for a fact it's a carbon steel, and I mean carbon, not high carbon, because this thing has rusted up badly now. I don't know if you can see that, you might not, but like any magician or any dork like I am, I sort of put little elfin runes in there. Don't ask. It's his gland ring. For those of you who are Lord of the Ring geeks, you know that means that's the sort of Gandalf. Anyhow, let's get past that, shall we? So the handle itself, a rat tail tang goes all the way through, right? And the handle itself is a bit odd because it's got the palm swell here like that, right? And you can even choke up here like this. And honestly, it's got a good weight to it. The blade itself, I believe, 10, 11-inch blade, all right, spare handled, spare point, and I'm not just saying sharp, and I'm talking sharp, all right. This thing was bloody sharp as it is long, and a little bit of a simple stone. This thing sharpens up, blink of an eye. Now, this thing has been, I kind of modified it a bit because it had no shape, so maybe in the dork that I am, I put one on there like that. Unfortunately, it did a bit of a number on the back here with the screws that I put in, getting past all that. But, I'll tell you, now I don't know where this fella came up with this knife, how he got it. I don't ask, because where I come from, you don't ask questions like that, you just simply appreciate it. But it has been a workhorse for me, and I paid all of $20 for it back in that day. And it's been nothing but good to me. It has got me through thick and thin, and boy, it does jump right into there. Look, iPro. But it cuts right in there. It'd be helpful if my iPro wasn't all foggy either, but it just gets right in there. You can feel it, and like I said, it does, a vicious job of cutting in. And I'm not really walloping at it either. Now, admittedly, the hilt itself, all right, it has always been a bit wobbly anyways. I never really took any time to modify it, but it's always been true, and it has always done the job it's supposed to. But just looking here, it's a chopper for the word go. And yes, it does its fine work too. It really can get in and do that fine number 7 notching or things like that, and without hesitation either. So sharp, oh yeah, this thing will really dig in. I've used some brand new Kershaws and Shreds and things like that, which have not even become close to this kind of work that this one does. And again, What its real worth was, I couldn't bloody tell you. Whether it was really a Vietnamese fighting knife or not, I couldn't bloody tell you. But honestly, this bad boy does the work, and I mean, it just bites right in there. And again, it has got me thick and thin. Batoning wise, hell yeah, it does the batoning like there's no tomorrow. But look at it, I'm not really even making I'm simply tapping this sucker, and it gets in there like that. So now, yeah, batoning wise, not only will it baton, but it will be baton with a vengeance. We'll just started this long way like so. And it has always done the job without question, without fail. And like I said, with that long spear point that you have, I mean, it can get right down there, just like so. And I've been using it forever. Again, my first inclination when I first got this, that's a wine, was that it was nothing more than a decorative piece. But as you can see, I mean, this sucker just goes right to town and has a good weight to it as well. So, this review is really more for my own edification than yours. But I got to tell you, of all the ones I've had, sometimes you'll find the best one when you're not even really looking for it. Sometimes you'll find the best bushcraft knife without even thinking you have it. Right? I mean, this thing has gone into been brutalized a number of times over in the thickest of woods and harshest of conditions. And the worst thing that has ever happened when I've used this in the harshest of conditions is that I had to put some Rust-Oleum on there or 3-in-1 oil to take the rust off. So like I said, sometimes you'll find those gems. Sometimes you'll find those diamonds in the rough without even looking for it. You just have some drogo come along and ask you if you want to buy a knife. And sometimes that's exactly what happens. You find a gem. So like I said, of all the knives I've had, I got to tell you, would I trust a lot of them? 50-50. When it comes to this though, it's probably my favorite one. And I have to tell you, I'm sure I have no idea it's origin. I have no idea what it's supposed to be about. But it has helped me out, and it has been one of the best bushcraft knives I've ever owned, ever. So like I said, this review, is it the review? No. It's a bragging right for me, having found such a great knife. So anyways, again though, if you know the origin, if you know the markings, I mean, you might be sitting at home going, my goodness, I recognize that knife. I used to use one when I was a child back in Burr, whatever the case. Let me know. Put some comments down there. Tell me what I've got in my hand if it isn't exactly what I say, a Vietnamese fighting knife. But whatever the case may be, once again I want to thank you for tuning in to Wild Irish Bushcraft and Survivor. Thanks again. I'm Chuck, your host, and if you like your comments, if you like it, by all means comment. If you didn't like it, by all means feel free to say nothing at all. Cheers.